Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks. This is down to 7.5 in favor of the Seahawks. 44.5 is the total. This I thought was heading to 9 and instead went the other direction. And Cardinals started taking money. Steven, look, I think this is like one of the better teaser legs of the season so far with Seattle. I look and I know that the injury report was a little concerning for them coming out of Thursday. There were a couple of different guys. Zach Charbonnet, DNP. Evan Brown was a DNP. DK Metcalf was a DNP. So you don't want to see that. But DK Metcalf's already said he's going to play. So we'll take it for that. They've got a ton of running backs. So whether Zach Charbonnet plays or not, it doesn't really matter. So I don't know. Maybe it was the injury report. Maybe it's just people thought that 8.5 was too much for this Seattle team.
Well, if we're going to talk about the Giants' offensive line concerns, we at least need to note what's going on with the Seahawks' offensive line. They have a lot. Basically, their entire offensive line is dinged up, may or may not play this week. So I think to feel really good about the teaser leg, I at least want to see the majority of the Seahawks offensive line is going to be out there. I heard a lot of smart people this week bring up the notion that when the Seahawks offensive line has been healthy, it's allowed them to go 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers a lot more often than when it hasn't been healthy, which has forced them to bring in an extra tight end and to help with blocking. And that's made them more conservative, less explosive, etc. So that makes sense to me. Certainly makes sense. So I do have the teaser leg. I'd feel a heck of a lot better about it if I knew what the status was of this offensive line.
Yeah, I have the teaser leg as well. If I get proven wrong, I get proven wrong. I look at it this way. Even with a banged-up offensive line, it seems to me like the Seahawks should be able to find a way to win this thing by 2 points. It's this Cardinals squad. It was like a feel-good story there, Adam. They were like, yeah, they were plucky at the beginning of halves and things and whatever, but it's still equaled a bunch of losses. Yeah, I mean, the one no-show by the Cowboys, but outside of that, I mean, all this stuff's like, oh, man, they're in the game. They still end up losing the games, right? I mean, they still lost. And even if it looks like we're probably only going to be down one of these offensive linemen if what we see kind of like rings true here. So if that's the case, not the worst thing in the world for Seattle. And I don't know. I just can't downgrade them to a point where I can't see them covering a teaser leg. I don't want to lay the 7.5, I don't think, with given all that, but like I can't downgrade them enough to where I wouldn't say, no, man, 1.5 on a teaser leg. I feel pretty good about that against this Cardinals team that pretty much has now regressed to where we thought they were going to be at the beginning of the season, which is, hey, they're probably going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. And I think that they are.
I don't know that they have regressed to the point that we thought they were going to be preseason, which was, oh my God, this team is tanking. They're going to be 0-17, right? I do think that they have settled back into a spot where if you're going to play them, you're probably going to play them first half before things start to wear down on them, right? They seem to be a team that comes out pretty hot. Like Drew Petzing seems to have them moving early in the game. It's just that they don't really sustain it throughout. I can't argue with you on the teaser leg. There are a lot of injury. I mean, Tyler Lockett's limited. DK Metcalf's a DNP. Like there's enough here that I don't really want to be part of this game. So I'm going to pass.
It seems also at first blush to me that this could be an over situation, but the injury report I think would need to go the right way for me to come in on that side. Like I think Seattle can easily go for high 20s, low 30s in this against the Cardinals defense, which is absolutely putrid in every level and every single thing that they do. But I'm gonna have to wait on an injury report for me to feel a little bit more comfortable in that. So we'll see what happens on Sunday mornings, and follow me on the Twitter machine. I put out any last minute stuff on there as well.
By the way, keep an eye out starting next week for Kyler Murray, right? Now that he's back to practicing, like if you're going to look ahead at all at Arizona, realize that you're going to get at least a functional quarterback because Kyler Murray could come back as soon as next week.
Glad you brought that up because I did bet Cardinals plus 7.5 hosting the Ravens next week because I'm already fading the Ravens overall. I think they might lose this week. And if it's Kyler, it's not 7.5, right? So I'm just playing a number there, and we'll see.